Greetings everyone. Now we will talk about features of React JS. The first one is JSX. JSX stands for JavaScript XML. React can't understand HTML directly, but it understands JS. So JSX is designed in such a way that it feels like HTML. So it allows developers to write HTML like code within the JavaScripts, which makes the code more readable and expressive, which allows both the user interface structure and logic to sit in the same place. The second feature of React.js is component based architecture. The React allows the developers to break the user interface into smaller containers. Like example, as you have seen in the HTML, we have a header section and we have a body section, and below that we will be having a footer section, and on the left side or on the right side we will be having the navigation panel. Consider all these like a small components. This is known as a modular approach. Now, what is the benefit of this component based architecture? Is it simplifies the complexity of user interface, and it also promotes the code reusability. And by doing this, it is very easy to scale the application and also to maintain the application. Now, the third feature of React JS is one-way data binding. The data is transferred from a parent component to a child component. That means data flow is in one direction, that is from parent to child. Now, the benefit of this approach is the data flow is more predictable and very easier to debug the code, because any changes in the child will not be directly affected to the parent component. The fourth feature is virtual DOM. Now, coming to the virtual DOM, first we will understand what the actual DOM is. DOM in JavaScript represents document object model. It represents the web page as a tree of objects, which allows the JavaScript to access, manipulate, or change the content of the web page in real time. Now, we will see how the DOM works. Now, we are talking about the actual DOM, not the virtual DOM. We will see the virtual DOM later. First, understand what actual DOM is. Now, coming to the working, when a web page is loaded, the browser creates a tree-like model where every part of the document is represented as object. Now, every part is represented as object means the nodes which represents HTML tags next can also be represented as text within the tags and the attributes or properties to that tags. Now coming to virtual, the meaning of virtual is just a copy of the original. Now, as I have told you earlier, when a web page is loaded, a DOM is created, the actual one. But what happens in Java script is the actual DOM is created. But in React.js, when the whole web page is loaded, an exact copy of actual DOM known as a virtual DOM is created in memory, which is a real representation of the actual DOM. Now, what does the React do is when any changes occurs, it first updates in the virtual DOM. Next, it compares the changes with the actual DOM. And next, it updates the actual DOM by seeing what are the actual changes happened in the virtual DOM. Only the changed components in the virtual DOM will be changed in the actual DOM. Not the whole thing is updated in the actual DOM. So what happens now is the data movement will be less and unnecessary of the actual dation is avoided. Resulting this, the web pages will be loading faster and rendered in a very efficient way. The fifth feature is simplicity. As I have told earlier, React.js can understand only JSX, that is the combination of JavaScript and HTML. It is very simple to understand the code and to write the code. Now, as we divide the structure in components, the debugging also becomes simpler. Last but not least, the next feature of React.js is performance. As we have discussed earlier, it creates a virtual DOM and only necessary changes will be made in the actual DOM. Hence, the loading of the web pages becomes more efficient and faster. The whole web page is not updated. Only the part of the web pages are updated regularly. So the loading of the whole web page is reduced and only small part of the web page is loaded, improving its performance. The best example for this is the comment section in any YouTube or any YouTube like platforms, where the whole after you comment, the whole web page is not loaded. Only part of the comment section or component is refreshed or loaded. Hence, reducing the burden on the server to again send the whole data back to the client is reduced, thus overall increasing the performance of the web page or website.